As the holidays approach, we're gifted with yet another Home Alone remake. Are we excited? Not really, but we're gonna watch anyway. Home Sweet Home Alone. So the movie starts with Max and his mom going to an open house because he needs the bathroom. And then meets one of the owners and his doll collection. And the mom comes in and tells him what he thinks the dolls are worth. And then says this joke.
No McDonald's for you on the way home.
What? Mum? You can't promise a kid McDonald's and not deliver.
Oh.
Yeah, first world problems, right? Anyway, we jump forward to them in the car and he complains that why must they share the house with so many relatives? Look at this house. This house is beautiful, guys. Like, it is beautiful. Remember in the first movie when people were asking, what does Mr. McAllister do? That he can afford Paris tickets for his entire family. What do you do, Mr. McAllister? Before that, the people that were owning the house didn't tell their children they're selling the house. Pretty smart. And Keenan, what are you doing? Why are you in this movie, Keenan Thompson? Why? And then we jump forward, and the house is chaotic, just like in the first movie. And he's complaining. The mom is complaining that she cannot make a phone call. Yet she's in the most neutral place in the entire house, the kitchen. Look how big this house is. She can go to any room and make that phone call in peace. But no, she chooses the kitchen, guys. The kitchen. Wow. And then the kid goes into the garage and sleeps in the car. Wow. Y'all are rich. Yo. So it's the following morning and Max is left behind. But during the chaos, Jeff decides to go to the house and ask if Max is still around. Assuming that he has left, they tell him he has left. So after the family leaves, Jeff decides to go to the house and retrieve the doll, but chooses not to. And then we're gifted the scene where he comes in contact with a snowman.
I'm sorry. I'm having a bad day.
Just stupid, right? Anyway, we fast forward where Max would realize that he's left alone, and we're gifted this montage where he does things that he will not normally do when his parents are home, like eat sweets. Interesting. And then we go back to Pam and Jeff, where we see Jeff's brother watching the remake of one of the movies Kevin watched, either in the second movie or the first movie, and we're gifted with this joke.
This is garbage. I don't know why they were always trying to remake the classics. Never as good as the originals. You want some more peat corn, C-Train?
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
Nice, right? And then Pam starts to reminisce about the memories they shared in the house and decides to tell, you know what, Jeff? We are going to go into that house and we're going to take our doll back. We're going to take it. And then in the car, they give us with this joke.
30 seconds in Gen Pop.
Gen Pop.
General population. It's where fresh fish get got.
And then they enter the house, but they insert the wrong code, so the alarm goes off. And then we get to see Buzz McAllister. Do you have anything else to do? Anyway, yeah, and then he starts to think about what if the cops do find him by himself in the house. What would that mean for his mom? So he decides against it. And then the mom realizes that Max is not on the trip, so they do that whole Max is not on the trip thing. I'm glad they didn't do the Home Alone 1 and the Home Alone 2 version of Kevin not being on the trip or Kevin left at home. I'm glad they left that one alone. And then Max the following day goes to church. You know, that whole church scene with that Mary and stuff. It's still there. It's still there. And then they realize that, oh, there's no one at home. So let's just go to his home right now and get the doll while he's at church. Stupid. You could have just asked him while he's there, yo kid, do you have the doll or not? Could have ended really quickly. But they chose not to. They go to the house. They enter the wrong house. A black people family home. How is that funny? How is that funny? Anyway, Then they do that whole scene where they discuss their plans to break in later at midnight. And then he overhears it from a long distance away, and then does his whole montage planning, device plan of all the Legos and the dangerous things happening. Yeah. And they proceed to enter the home and try to get their doll back. And then this kid does this experiment where you put Mentos in diet soda. He only inserted 3 Mentos, but they flew like rockets. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. And then they continue with the herdation and stuff like that. And then eventually, the adults in this whole entire thing were like, yo, kid, we're not trying to hurt you. We just want our doll back. And this kid is like, I don't have your doll. And like, oh, we should have just asked you, right? We could have ended this whole thing. We could have avoided this whole thing. Communication is key, guys. Communication. But yeah, and then they make up. This kid wrecked this house. At least in the Home Alone, the original one, it wasn't that ruined, but yeah, he wrecked this house a little bit. And then they realize, oh, he's home alone. He's left alone. So they take him back to their home, where they give him some cup of cocoa or whatever he was drinking, and wait for his mom to come back. And then they realize Jeff's son has the doll. So everything's peachy keen. And the mom comes back, gets him, go home, and realize the house is wrecked. And then 1 year later, they still live in the home, renovated. Yeah, just 200,000 can do for you. And then they realize that home is family, guys. Home is family. And then, yeah, that's the end of the movie. Great stuff. Great stuff indeed. And there we have it. Home, Sweet Home Alone. What a waste of time. Anyway, let's go straight into the cons. The cons in the movie is definitely Buzz McAllister. I did not like him in this movie. I didn't find the need for him to make a cameo. Especially what I didn't like most was when he's in his car and he's eating, he's stuffing his face, and then he spills on himself. That irritated me. There was a stupid joke that did not need to be in this movie because he's big boned or fat, whatever he likes to call himself. He has to be stuffing his face in his car. Why couldn't he be jamming out to pop rock or something, the greatest hits, talking to his wife, his girlfriend, whatever? But instead, he's stuffing his face. I didn't like that at all. That was a horrible joke. And also, the jokes in the movie, they didn't hit at all. Most of them did not hit, especially the classic one. You really making fun of your own movie? Really? Anyway, and then humanizing the burglars. You're kind of making them the main characters of the movie, and then we're rooting against the person that's left alone, the kid that's left alone, home alone. He's the main character now. We're voting against. Like, it's a whole thing. He's defending his house, quote unquote, his house, from a misunderstanding. That's something that can be resolved earlier in the movie. We didn't even need this movie if that whole conversation was had at church. Come on now. Defending yourself from what? At least in the first movie, they were going to break in and steal things in the house. In this movie, they were not going to steal anything in the house. They just wanted to take back that was theirs, and that's it. So he was not really defending the house. It was just stupid and ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, that's all the cons. The cons. The cons. The most, I can say, the cons. And then pros would be the house. Woo! That house is beautiful. I still say it to this day. And can I go on the vacation, like Christmas vacation? Can I come? Can I come too? But yeah, that's all. That's all I have for Home Sweet Home Alone. And yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers. Happy holidays.